You know, there's a lot of guys in Strikeforce that I'd love to see. If Strikeforce folds and we suck all those guys over into the UFC. But apparently it looks like the UFC and Showtime, the people that have been airing Strikeforce, are getting along now, and they have some good negotiations. So that would be good too, you know, to have a separate league like Strikeforce, and to have opportunities for more fighters to have bouts. Because, you know, quite honestly, there's so many fighters in the UFC now. I believe there's more than 250 fighters under contract, and there's only a certain amount of slots and a certain amount of fights that they can have. So the more organizations there are, the better.
Really, there aren't a lot of options for fighters outside of the UFC anymore. To what extent do you buy into the notion that you've removed the leverage that these guys have to negotiate better deals?
Listen, that is the most ridiculous thing. Think about this. First of all, this is the best thing that could ever happen, to the consumer. Okay, now we have the Strikeforce fighters under our roster. This allows us to make the fights that the public wants to see. Case in point, this October, we're going to have a mega fight between George St. Pierre and Nick Diaz. Okay, so from a consumer standpoint, they get what they want. Could you imagine that, if all the teams weren't under the NFL and the Patriots and the Giants couldn't agree to play on Sunday, it'd be havoc. So this is actually a good thing from a consumer standpoint. From a fighter standpoint, we have taken these fighters, and now we have the ability to allow them to make more money. They were stuck in Strikeforce where there was no pay-per-view revenue there. They were getting paid a license fee, so there was only so much money that they were going to be willing to make. Nick Diaz is a guy who made, I think the most he's ever made is $175,000 in a fight, which is not terrible money for one night's work, $175,000. In this one fight that we're going to make, because we bought Strikeforce, because of the acquisition, Nick Diaz is going to make more money than if you added all of his purses up for his entire career in one night. We are giving these guys tremendous opportunity to be able to make more money, have bigger exposure, get bigger sponsors. It is actually a great thing. And when you throw out the term monopoly, that's the most ridiculous thing that anybody could ever say. There are no barriers to entry in this business.